Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest would be arriving here any moment. Request you to kindly take your seats, or if you prefer standing, request you to kindly stand in the back side so that there's not a commotion the moment our chief guest arrives. And yes, a reminder for all of you to kindly switch off your mobile phones or turn them in the silent mode, please. Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest has arrived in Pragati Maidan. Any moment he's expected here. Request all of you to kindly form a line or stand behind so that it doesn't look a bit congested. And a reminder to all of you to kindly switch off your mobile phones or turn them in the silent mode. And yes, the latest information, our honorable chief guest has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, our Honorable Union Minister for Finance, Corporate Affairs and Information and Broadcasting, Shri Arun Jaitley ji, has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to announce that we have with us our Honorable Union Minister for Finance, Corporate Affairs, Information and Broadcasting, Shri Arun Jaitley ji, with us, and would like to request him to kindly commence the inaugural ceremony by lighting the ceremonial lamp, and also request our dignitaries, Commerce Secretary, Ms. Rita Theotia, CMD ITPO, Shri Ajay Bhalla, President SIFI, Chairman CLE, Shri Rafiq Ahmed, Senior Vice President SIFI, Shri Rajkumar Gupta, Vice President SIFI, Shri Ramesh Dua, OSD ITPO, Ms. Meenakshi Singh, and General Manager, India International Leather Fair, Mr. V. Kumar. who are lighting the ceremonial lamp. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and may I please request our honorable chief guests and our dignitaries to kindly come on stage and take their seats. May I request our audience members also to kindly take your seats. Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of India Trade Promotion Organization, ITPO, I, Shirley Rakheja, extend a very warm welcome to all of you and welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of the 5th edition of India International Leather Fair, IILF, and the 1st edition of India International Footwear Fair, IIFF, which has been co-organized by Confederation of Indian Footwear Industries, CIFI. Today, we are indeed honored and privileged to have with us our Honorable Union Minister for Finance, Corporate Affairs, Information and Broadcasting, Shri Arun Jaitley ji here, who has taken out his valuable precious time and graced us on this occasion. And we would like to felicitate him with bouquet of flowers, for which may I please request Chairman Managing Director, ITPO, Shri Ajay Bhalla ji, to kindly present the bouquet to our Honorable Chief Guest. I also request President CIFI, Chairman CLE, Shri Rafiq Ahmed, also to present bouquet to our chief guest. And request President CIFI, Chairman CLE, Rafiq Ahmed ji felicitating our chief guest. Request Shri Rajkumar Gupta, Senior Vice President CIFI, also to felicitate our chief guest. And Vice President CIFI, Shri Ramesh Duaji, also to present a bouquet to our chief guest. Indeed, an honor to have you here, sir. We would also like to extend a warm welcome to Commerce Secretary, Ms. Rita Teotia, and request Officer on Special Duty, ITPO, Ms. Meenakshi Singh, to kindly felicitate her with bouquet of flowers. We also extend a warm welcome to Chairman Managing Director, ITPO, Shri Ajay Bhalla ji, and request Mr. V. Kumar to kindly felicitate him. Thank you, sir. And now to deliver the welcome address, ladies and gentlemen, I request Chairman Managing Director, ITPO, Shri Ajay Bhalla ji, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Thank you. Good evening to all of you. Honorable Finance Minister Shri Jaitley ji, Honorable Commerce Secretary, Ma'am Rita Teotia ji, Shri Rafiq Ahmed, Chairman, Council for Leather Exports and President CIFI, and also Chairman of Confederation of Indian Footwear Industries, Mr. Gupta, Mr. Dua, our valued participants and delegates from India and overseas, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to welcome the Honorable Finance Minister of India, Shri Arun Jaitley ji, who has kindly taken time off his extremely busy schedule to inaugurate this 5th edition of Delhi India International Leather Fair and its concurrent specialized event for the first time, India International Footwear Fair at Pragati Maidan today. We are also happy to welcome Shrimati Rita Teotia, who has very recently joined as Commerce Secretary, and this is her first visit to ITPO after joining the Commerce Department. And other dons of the leather industry who are present here, who have spared the time to grace this occasion. We also compliment President Confederation of Indian Footwear Industry, SIFI for extending their support as co-sponsor of the first edition of India International Footwear this year. You would be happy to know that India International Leather Fair has become a regular specialized leather event of India ITPO, covering the entire range of quality leather products and accessories. This is one of the leather trios of the ITPO to cater to the need of growing consumer market, the other two being leather fairs in Chennai and Calcutta. These are some of the sought after events in South Asia region as far as leather is concerned. These twin events today, IILF and Footwear Fair, feature a wide range of products, machinery and equipment from over 150 companies from India and overseas. More than 30 foreign participants are also taking part in these events, including from Brazil, China, Iran, Italy, Mexico and Taiwan. There's an exclusive display in the Trade Association Pavilion from China. The display profile covers leather garments, footwear and its components, synthetic material and fashion accessories, raw and finished leather, footwear and footwear components, chemicals, machinery, equipments and technologies. These two fairs today showcase emerging technologies, keeping in pace with the rapidly changing buyers' needs and usher fresh opportunities and challenges. Apart from unveiling the export potential of India, IILF aims to project India as investment destination also. It will help develop, promote, and market India as a leading manufacturing destination and a hub for food design and information. The Government of India has designated leather as one of the focus sectors under the National Foreign Trade Policy and included the sector in the Make in India campaign. With an annual turnover of over 12 billion US dollars, the export of leather and leather products increased manifold over the past decade and touched 5.9 US billion dollar in 2013-14 at a growth rate of 14.77%. With a view to make these events more convenient for the visitor, a mobile app has also been launched. The visitors can download information pertaining to exhibitors, layout plan of the hall, and gain access to detailed maps of the venue with their GPS guide. This year, around 6,000 business visitors from India and abroad are expected to visit the 3 days fair. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the continued and proactive support of SIFI and other associations for this sector. Once again, I welcome the Honorable Minister of Finance, Commerce Secretary, and Doyens of Leather Industry to this 5th edition of the India International Leather Fair and first India International Footwear Fair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite President SIFI and Chairman CLE, Shri Rafiq Ahmed, to kindly address us.
Good evening, everybody. Shri Arun Jaitley ji, Honorable Minister for Finance and Broadcasting, Mrs. Honorable Rita Teotia, Honorable Commerce Secretary, Mr. Bhalla Sahab, the Chairman of the ITPO, my colleague Rajkumar Gupta, Mr. Dua, all friends here. As you all know, the Indian leather industry has achieved significant milestone in the last 6 decades. The industry has undergone a transformation from being a mere exporter of raw material in 1950s and 60s to a leading exporter of high quality, value-added products now. Exports have increased from mere $493 million in 84-85 to an all-time high value of $6.5 billion in 2014-15. The domestic market for value-added leather product and footwear has also grown significantly in the recent years. The industry now has a total turnover of $12.5 billion, and it is the second largest producer of footwear and leather garments, and fourth largest producer of leather goods and accessories. More crucially, the leather industry has played a crucial role in enhancing the livelihood of economically weaker section of the people. We are mostly unskilled and have a rural background. About 30% of workers in the leather industries are women, which shows the positive role played by the industry in the women's upliftment and employment. The total employment in leather industry and footwear industry totally is about 2.4 million people. Out of that, footwear alone is around 1.4 million people are employed. Sir, the most important, the leather sector has been included as a focus sector under the Make in India flagship program of the government, which has given the required thrust for realizing the full growth potential of the industry. The leather sector has been set an ambitious turnover target of $27 billion by 2020, as against the present turnover of 12.5 billion under Make in India program. Though the export growth during 2020 was only to the tune of 10% increase, to reasons like recession in Europe, instability in Middle East, etc., the industry endeavored to reach 20% growth both on export and in domestic front in coming years to reach the desired turnover level. And it is possible. We can easily be able to get this number. Besides, the industry is keen to tap the huge market potential in the domestic market by providing high quality items at affordable price. Happy to learn that besides, the Council for Leather Exports is planning to organize the investment promotion roadshow with support of the government in countries like USA, China, Taiwan, Vietnam, Italy, and Brazil to attract overseas investment. Also, a designers fair. The first time we are having a designers fair is planned to be held in the first time in Chennai during February, where world's best designers of footwear, garments will be asked to come to India and exhibit their products here. And each company, whoever wants to tie up with them as a designer, they can able to do that. We expect 50 to 60 top designers from Europe and also US to participate in that. Also, I would glad to inform the Minister, Honorable Minister, sir, that this is the first time we are organizing the World Footwear Technology Conference under the UTIC conference, it is called. And it is being held every year, alternate year for the last 22 years. But this is the first time they have also shown interest to have it done in having the conference in India. And we are expecting about 500 delegates from abroad and India and abroad. About 150 delegates from abroad have already signed and informed us they will be participating. That includes a big companies, investors, decision makers are also will be visiting during January, end of January in Chennai. And this is a very, very prestigious program where India will be showcasing its production capacity, and we expect a lot of investment to follow after that conference. Needless to mention, the growth of domestic industry is extremely crucial to achieve the target of 27 billion under Make in India. As 90% of footwear produced in India is consumed in domestic market, it is necessary to enhance the price competitiveness of the domestic footwear industry. In this connection, sir, we wish to thank the Honorable Finance Minister for reducing central excise duty for leather footwear from 12 to 6% in the Union Budget of 2015-16. The industry request is to A. Reduce the central excise duty for all other footwear falling under 6401, 02, 04 and 05, including non-leather footwear, under Chapter 64 from 12 to 6% on par with the leather footwear to ensure level playing field, and to retain the abatement rate for the footwear to the previous level of 35% as abatement was reduced to 25 in the Union Budget 2015-16. In all over the world, sir, the footwear is only footwear. There is no difference between leather footwear and non-leather footwear. Footwear is a footwear, and it is treated all over the world as one item of export, one item as a thing. And also it comes in different chapters, 64 chapter. So I feel there cannot be difference of reduction in the excise duty. It has to be uniformly 6% has to be there, and abatement has to be increased. Sir, besides that, all types of footwear up to MRP of rupees 1,000 to be exempted from excise duty, and above 1,000 should be carried 6%, as I told you. Under GST, footwear to be exempted up to MRP rupees 1,000. Sir, I want to say that all types of footwear up to 1,000 to be exempted from excise duty. Sir, that is important, sir. The consumers, we will have a bigger usage of that, and many people can use it. It can reach out to the poor people as well. Up to 1,000 it is necessary, because any non-leather footwear, the input cost has gone up. Lot of polyurethane and other things has gone up. So we want you to consider that. Under the GST, footwear to be exempted up to rupees 1,000, and above 1,000 should be a lowest slab of the GST. And sir, one more problem is that the upper sole, if used in exempted footwear, should be exempted from the excise duty. Today, if the upper is made and is brought into the shoe factory, although the shoe is exempted, which is below 500 rupees, it carries a different excise duty. That also should be exempted. So as I told you, leather footwear and non-leather footwear should be treated at par. Besides countries that prevailing high interest rate on credit, it is our request that the 3% interest subvention scheme, I'm asking the Commerce Secretary to pay attention that it is our request that 3% interest subvention scheme on rupee export credit should be exempted for entire leather sector. Madam, I am sure the above measures will help in achieving projected 20% to 25% growth level of the domestic and export sector. With this word, I conclude my speech by assuring the government the full support and the efforts of the Indian leather industry in achieving the desired target under the Make in India program. And with this, and I also had to share with you that Honorable Minister has seen the production of the footwear, visiting the factory in Chennai, and he has seen how much of women workers are working in this factory, and their condition of work is so good. And with this, sir, I request you to consider our request. Thank you, and again, thank you very much for attending our inauguration today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rafiq Ahmed, for sharing with us your views as well. And definitely this is also turning out to be a platform for putting forth your ideas and views in front of chief guests, besides it being a platform for promoting the leather industry. Well, moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite our Honorable Commerce Secretary, Ms. Rita Theotia, to kindly come forward and address us.
Respected Mr. Arun Jaitley, Finance Minister, Government of India, Mr. Bhalla, CMD, ITPO, Mr. Rafiq Ahmed, President, Confederation of Indian Footwear Industry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly happy to be here on the occasion of the 5th edition of the India International Leather Fair and the event that is being launched today, the 1st edition of the India International Footwear Fair. We are privileged to have with us the Honorable Finance Minister. Sir, we are grateful for your presence. It is encouragement to the industry as well as to the department. I'd like to compliment ITPO and the Confederation of Indian Footwear Industry and the Council for Leather Exports for organizing these two events. These are intended to support the industry, which largely comprises medium, small-scale sector units. although leather has been a traditional item of craft and manufacture in this country, I think from time immemorial, has been working with leather. But what we can see in this fair year on year is the evolution of the industry, the growth of the industry in terms of adoption of modern design, modern technology, the kind of forms that are being used. And that really is something that we have to continue to pursue so that we are able to tackle the world demand. The Government of India has moved in the direction of several new initiatives, that is facilitating FDI into most of the sectors, the new initiatives in the area of Make in India, Digital India, Skill India. We have recently launched the foreign trade policy, which was launched by our Commerce and Industries Minister a few months ago. And this foreign trade policy, while promoting an atmosphere of transparency, of fostering growth within the sector, also integrates with the other initiatives of the Government of India. And it provides a framework for enhancing exports of goods and services from the country. One of the major planks that we are pushing is the facilitation of export, simplification of procedures, and increasing the transparency. And you would have seen it already in the manner in which the export procedures have been simplified. The DGFT procedures have come down to just 3 documents now, and they are all being put onto a common platform so that there is a single window for exporters to access and process their shipments. In addition, the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion has been implementing the eBiz project, which is supposed to create an investor-centric hub, again based on a single window model, to help you carry out your compliances and to access the services. The Indian industry, and we've been seeing the growth rate, Rafiq ji as well as Mr. Bhalla have talked about the total capacity, the total growth of the sector, the total growth of exports. But what we see now is that an environment has been created through a set of policies which could look at a growth rate of 24 to 25% per annum over the next 5 years. That's the kind of emerging trends that we are beginning to see for the sector. We are expecting to see the domestic market double in the next modernization and technological upgradation of the leather sector. The capital goods and the machinery that is required can be imported now without an import duty under the Export Promotion Capital Goods Scheme, which has been announced under the foreign trade policy, subject to meeting the export obligations of 6 times of over the next 6 years. So there's a long time frame in which you need to meet the export obligation. Again, as a measure to boost the manufacturing in the leather footwear segment, Rafiq Bhai has already mentioned, excise duty has been reduced from 12 to 6% for footwear for the segment between 500 to 1,000. The one important area, and I think that manufacturers are very conscious of this, is the environment concerns which have been raised in the past and continue to be raised today. The tanning industry, I am aware, has adopted a zero liquid discharge systems to meet the environmental regulations. Under the leather technology, innovation and environment issues, we've got a sub-scheme of the Indian Leather Development Program, where assistance is being offered for technology benchmarking and environment management for the ETPs, for the solid waste management as well as some of the advocacy measures. What individual units and groups of units are going to have to do is establish their own ETPs which will feed into this, because without that the integrated system does not work. I'm aware that some of the clusters have done excellent work in this area, but some of the clusters still need to do it, and I would urge the industry to look at these requirements and to make the efforts to access the schemes so that you can ensure that the environmental safeguards are met. The entire leather product sector has been delicensed, so you have a expansion on modern lines feasible with state-of-the-art equipment and machinery. Under the MLC sub-scheme, there's a 50% grant up to 1.25 billion rupees based on the size for the establishment of the mega leather, which will support infrastructure development and support services for production and export. Under the leather technology, innovative and environmental, there's about 50% assistance for up to 500 million rupees for upgradation and installation of the CTPs. Our long-term strategy, apart from these schemes, apart from the issues which currently affect us, has got to be focused on technology upgrades in order to keep up with the world markets demand, quality benchmarking, which has to be mandatory now, and certification, and some investment on branding and promotion of the high-value sectors where we are seeing the markets growing in terms of leather garments, in terms of the footwear segments for ladies and for children. These sectors are the ones for which there are opportunities in the sector which we need to exploit. I'm glad to know that we have the largest ever participation this time with 150 companies present here today. My greetings and best wishes to all of you. I hope that you do a lot of successful business here. And thank you, sir, once again for being with us this evening.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for addressing us and sharing with us your. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I have the privilege of requesting our chief guest for the day, Honorable Union Minister for Finance, Corporate Affairs, Information and Broadcasting, Shri Arun Jaitley ji, to kindly address us on this momentous occasion.
The Commerce Secretary, the Chairman of the ITPO, Shri Rafiq Ahmed, ladies and gentlemen. The leather footwear industry in India, which now has also brought within its fold the synthetic leather industry, is one of the foremost growing sectors of the Indian economy. Now, if you look at the larger picture of the economy, we have been over the last few years doing reasonably well as far as our services sector are concerned. This year, at least, the agricultural situation also is comfortable. And therefore, for enhancement of future growth rates in this country, the emphasis has to be manufacturing. Manufacturing has many advantages, and India has many assets in manufacturing. An asset for an industry like you is that we have a very large population, and therefore the domestic market available to you for using the footwear is very large. Not only is the domestic market very large, the improvement of individual economies has now enabled several sections of the society to possess multiple footwears. And this is going to expand. And therefore, in years to come, as we grow, the domestic needs are going to expand hugely. The global needs are also going to expand. And as far as the global needs are concerned, there is a very small part of the world, or the creamy layer of the world, which is catered to by high quality branded footwear. Now, economies like Italy, to some extent even England, stray brands in Switzerland, these are amongst the economies which have, in that quality and costly footwear, made their presence felt. They had the ability to not only manufacture, but create brands, market those brands, and therefore exploit hugely the value of those brands. I think we are still a little distance away from that situation. There are other economies like China which went in for bulk manufacturing and also almost became the footwear suppliers to the world at large. I think the challenge before India today is to emulate both these categories of markets. I remember last year, on the eve of the budget, when I was interacting with different segments of industry, it has almost become conventional for various sections to come and meet the finance minister and the finance ministry and understate the position of their industry. It's only when they present a gloomy picture they expect a relief. But I was very pleasantly surprised when the footwear industry came and met me. It was oozing with confidence. I found they were with a great sense of confidence speaking about the complex on the outskirts of Delhi. They were speaking about their expansion of that complex. They were speaking about cost competitiveness, as to how we have an ability to multiply our productions, how we have expanded in the last few years. If an industry can expand at an annual rate of 15 to 20%, almost 2 to 3 times the any other industry expanding. And therefore, if you have an ability to expand at the rate of 15 to 20% or more annually, that means the potential to reach that optimum is certainly there. And fortunately for us, we are acquiring that core competence both in leather and synthetic. Synthetic can become the bulk supplier to the world, and the leather can compete with all the quality brands. Mr. Rafiq Ahmed was mentioning my visit to his factory several years ago in my earlier capacity in the government, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see that most global brands were being manufactured in India. I now understand that that number is also multiplied. And therefore, our ability to cater to the lower segment of the market, the mid segment, and the creamy layer of the market, the potential does exist. And to realize that potential, there are effectively 2 qualities that any industry requires. It requires, firstly, quality manufacture, and secondly, it requires cost competitiveness. the fact that you have expanded at a very rapid pace indicates the ability to grow. And therefore, in quality competitiveness, if you can compare with your competitors in all segments, it will help you, it will help the Indian economy, because this is one segment which is also a great job creator. Manufacturing is where the real jobs lie, and manufacturing is where the jobs can expand. And in cost competitiveness, it's a joint responsibility of the industry and the governments. Your largest competitors today in countries like China are today facing a great challenge of a high wage bill. An affordable wage bill was their strength, and that affordable wage bill has now become a much higher wage bill, and therefore their costs are to go up. India was slowed down in cost competitiveness because of our labor regimes, because of the cost of utilities like power, because of infrastructure, because of high cost of capital, and various other factors. And as the Indian economy is growing, today fortunately we are passing through a year where we have more power in this country than there are takers. It's therefore also important for us to utilize all our potentials, from thermal to hydel to non-conventional, and bring down the cost of production itself as the quantity of power production in this country is increasing. On infrastructure, this is an area of topmost priority for the government. We are investing a lot into our railways, into our rural roads, into our highways, on ports, and hopefully with power situation in play, this is one sector which is going to improve. Our wage bills are today lesser than our competitors, and as we go on to future years, hopefully with interest rates also moderating, your costs therefore have to be kept under control. You have raised issues relating to taxation. The government has been considering your issues with topmost priority. In almost year after year, we are conscious of the fact that the footwear industry is one industry which needs to be encouraged, because it's a success story, and success stories have to be built upon. And therefore, I am quite sure that with the changed regime of indirect taxation, which should come into this country sooner than later, we shall be able to factor the largest interest of this group of manufacturing industry, so that we are able to do some nudging and hand-holding as far as this industry is concerned. My best wishes to all of you, and may the footwear industry in this country grow in the years to come and become a world beater, which is a potential which you genuinely possess. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us your valuable insights, thoughts, and inspiring us and motivating us. And at the same time, your speech, your thoughts has definitely brought smiles and cheers to the industry people. Thank you so much, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to propose the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Senior Vice President SIFI, Shri Rajkumar Gupta.
Respected Shri Arun Jaitley ji, Finance Minister of India, Rita Teotia ji, Secretary Commerce, Ajay Bhalla ji, Chairman ITPO, Meenakshi Sinha ji, Mr. Rafiq Ahmed, Chairman CLE, and Mr. Ramesh Dua. All guests who has come over here, I am thankful to all of you from the bottom of my heart that you have spared your valuable time to encourage us. Respected, the way you have expressed concern with the footwear industry, we are very much thankful and very hopeful that the dream which the footwear industry have, that will multiply 3 times in coming 5 years from a turnover of 40,000 crores of rupees today to 1,20,000 crores in coming 5 years. Sir, some of the facts I would like to mention about the footwear industry. A person who has 5,000 rupees in his pocket can earn 50,000 rupees per month. And it is an industry which is meant for women empowerment, small areas, even in the jails. See, what I suggest you, even in the jail, the footwear industry can produce uppers over there and can give a very big workforce over there. So, sir, in such a scenario, what we request you, that some of the time when we come to you, some of the officials say that it is because of the PLA. Sir, we promise you, whatever PLA has been taken by the government in last year, will give 1.25 times next year. But please make a footwear cell in the finance ministry and please listen to us so that industry can bloom the way it likes. We are not about that in any way exchequer should go down. We'll make it double in the next 5 years. We promise you, sir, and we need your help. And you have spared so valuable time. We are always very much thankful. We met Mr. Arun Jaitley, and he was so considered. He has given us about 15 minutes, has seen all the shoes, has understood what is the difference between a leather shoe and a non-leather shoe. And today he has declared that footwear will means leather and non-leather footwear. And we are very much thankful, sir, for doing this. And we all from bottom of heart tells you that we will at least give workforce to minimum 3 crores of people of India. And with a turnover of about, you can say 1,20,000 crores. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to formally inaugurate the fair, I request our Honorable Chief Guest along with our other dignitaries on the dais to kindly proceed for a ribbon cutting ceremony on the right-hand side. And post the ribbon cutting ceremony, Honorable Chief Guest, our Honorable Minister would be visiting the fair. And request the exhibitors also to kindly proceed to their stalls post the ribbon cutting ceremony. I request the exhibitors now to kindly proceed to their stalls as our Honorable Minister is on the rounds of the fair. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a good day.